Hey, welcome back, guys. A lot has changed since we had first seen each other last year. So, for most of you that are just returning, you remember who I am. For those of you who are new, I'm going to jump right into it. My name is Sensei Gaidash. I'm the therapeutic martial arts instructor here. I want to start off by just telling you a few things about me so we can start off with knowing a little bit about each other. I'll probably hear more about you guys as we continue on with class. So, for now, just a little bit about me. I've been doing martial arts for more than 3/4 of my life. This is actually my 6th year teaching here in Akron Elementary. I've been doing martial arts since I was 9. So I'm very big into it. I love learning new things when it comes to martial arts, and I'm very open to new things when it comes to learning. So I'm a big car person. Most of my students know me that, I love working on cars. It's something that I like to do besides doing martial arts. As you get to know me, you'll learn more of my loves and my hates for that. So most of my students can probably tell you what I drive or what my favorite car is. And as the year goes by and we keep talking with each other, we're going to probably learn a little bit about each other. So let's go ahead and jump into the first things first. So I want to talk to you guys about what's changed. The first thing being probably something you're already very aware of, masks. I want to talk to you guys about the right way to use a mask and how to go about that. So a lot of you probably have a mask similar to this. It's blue, it's non-reusable, which means you can only use this once. I'm going to go over all the steps of using this mask, and when we get into the building, we are going to be required to wear this mask. So first off, you want to find the side that has a metal rod in it. This is for your nose, so this is going to be the top of the mask. You'll be able to feel it by just using your fingers to rub at the very center of the mask, and you'll either feel a metal rod or you won't. Once you've found it, what you want to do from this point on, make sure you have the blue side out, is you're going to want to only touch the string parts of the mask. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this mask up. You can see how it just expanded a little bit. And I'm going to hook it to my ear, and I'm going to go over to my other ear. Once I've done this, this is where I talked about having that metal rod. You just want to find it and use your 2 fingers and just gently push. And what that does is it gives a nice, good feeling to your face. I'm going to pull it down to make it fully touch. And this is it. This is the wearing the mask. So you never want to touch the outside of the mask. These masks are here to filtrate and keep you safe and healthy. So all the yucky stuff sits on the outside. So if you ever have to take one of these off, never actually touch it. Use your fingers to loop behind the ear to pull it off. And you can do that with one hand and still have it sit, and you can see my other ear actually holds it in place. So, and I can easily put this right back on, just like that. So, when we get into the building, obviously right now we're only learning through video, so you won't have to wear one as you watch a video from home, unless that's something you like to do. But when we do get back into the dojo, we are going to be required to wear these. Just like if you were at a store shopping with mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, whoever, if you were going to any kind of public place, this is going to be something we have to wear every day. So, moving on from that part. So, since I'm by myself, and I'm going to be doing some activities with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. When you're done with these are not reusable. That means you can't put them back on the next day. If it's been like a few minutes and you have it sitting in a nice clean place, that's fine. I would really prefer when you're done with these, you actually take them, you fold them inside out so you don't touch the outsides, and then put them in some kind of plastic or paper bag preferred. And that would be the way you would dispose of these. They're only one time. So let's go ahead and start our day in the dojo. So, go ahead and follow me on over here. I'm coming on over here. So, the first thing before we even are allowed to begin martial arts is we got to know how to enter and leave a dojo. It's very important that when you enter and leave a dojo, we do something called bowing. Bowing is a sign of respect. And it's not just you giving me respect, it's me giving you respect. It's something that I would hope that we both share with each other. My feet are going to be together. I'm going to be facing the room I'm entering or leaving. My hands are going to be at my side. I'm going to face, and I'm going to bow. Come on in the dojo. Let's go ahead and get into that part right now. So, today I'm going to be targeting balancing. Balancing is when your body tries to stay upright to the best of its ability. Or there might be other challenges that I have kind of come in the future of trying to keep level of some nature. So today we're going to be constantly focusing on balancing. I have a few warm-ups and an activity or two that we're going to be using for this. And then we're going to get into some very basic terms that I want you to know for martial arts. So let's go ahead and get started into warm-ups. So the first thing I want you to do, and this is something you should be standing up and doing with me every single day, is just lift your knee. I have my knee about level right now, and I just want to hold it up. My toes are pointed up, and my knee is up, and I'm going to hold for a time. I'm going to be counting in Japanese. If you've never counted in Japanese before, as the time goes by, you'll get better and better at it. For those of you who have done this before, I expect counting at home. So I have my knee up. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, ro, sich, hach, ku, ju. At this point, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to relax that leg, and I'm going to switch over to my other leg. My knee is up. I find my balance, so I give myself a second. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, roku, seiji, hachi, ku, ju. I put my foot down. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've had my knee really high. Now I'm only going to be bringing my toes up. So my toe is pointed right towards where I want to be looking, and I want to do circular motions. I'm going to do this for about 5 seconds in one direction. So this time I'm going to my right. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go. Now I'm going to switch to the opposite direction, so I'm going to my left. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go. I'm going to be switching, so now we're at the opposite foot. This foot is planted. I find my balance, I'm going to go to my right. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go. Now to my left. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go. I'll be placing that down. So let's get into something a little bit more complicated. So this is really great for just figuring out how much balance you truly have. Let's get into something a little bit more difficult. So this might be an activity that you need some help with. So if you're still looking for your balance, you're still working on it, you can easily find something like a chair. If you don't have a chair, and you live near a wooded area, or maybe you just have a tree, a stick could be your best friend too. And I'm going to show you the stick part of it if you don't have a chair on the opposite foot. So here's what I'm going to do for this next part. I'm going to take my right hand, my right side of my body, and I'm going to place my right hand here, and I'm going to take my right leg, and I'm going to extend it out while my front hand's forward. If you're having trouble balancing, the chair will definitely help you. I'm going to hold for 10. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, roku, seiji, hachi, ku, ju. So if you don't have a chair at home, your other option, if somebody has a walking stick at home, maybe there's a really good stick that you just really trust at the home, or maybe you have something really strong and about your height. You could use that just as well. So I'm going to be using my left hand's got a good grip. I want to make sure I'm safe. And I'm going to use my left leg to bring it up, and my right hand is going to be coming forward. So I extend, and I want that foot as high as I can. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, roku, seiji, hachi, ku, ju. If you get super comfortable doing that activity, you could remove both the chair and the stick. and just see if you can hold that. 10 seconds is the recommended. Let's get into something that requires a little bit more across the body. This is probably one of my favorite warm-ups and one of my favorite activities to do, and they're called cross crawls. So my hands are up, and here's the goal. If this hand on my left-hand side of my body is going to be touching my right knee, so I'm actually coming across my body. So I want to lift my knee and touch. Once I touch, that knee can touch the ground again. So I'm going to do this 10 times. Ich, ni, san, chi, go, rok, sich, hach, ku, ju. Once I've done 10 in the front, let's go to the back. I'm going to show you a sideways view of what that really looks like. Ich, ni, san, chi, go, rok, sich, hach, ku, ju. And for the last part of this, I'm going to be tapping the very bottom of my foot. 10. Ich, ni, san, chi, go, rok, sich, hach, ku, ju. Very good. So, now that we've worked across our bodies, and we had to actually support our weight on one foot, let's make things a little bit more interesting. If you have a cup, maybe you have a small sand bucket, or maybe you have something that's cylinder, round on the bottom, place it right in front of you. And here's what the activity is. So, I want to see if I can lift. I'm going to put my body to the point this foot is lined right up. So if you had to see from the side, it looks something like this. My foot's right in line with it. I'm going to have my hand up, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this foot, and I want to come down, touch the bucket, come back up, give this guy a high five. I'm going to repeat this 5 times, and then switch to my other side. Ready? Ich, ni, san. And if you fail and you stop, don't restart. Just continue right where you left off. Just how I stopped right there. So I'm at 3. Let's go straight to 4. Ich, ni. And that was 2 more, so that would make 5. I should have said she, go, for those of us still learning to count. I'm going to switch to my opposite side. Let's see if I'm any better on one side of my body than the other. Okay, my foot comes up. Ich, ni, san, she, go. And that was 6. Should have said that. Okay, so that's the first part. Let's get into something more challenging. This is going to be the last thing we do today. So, all I want to do is, I want to rock my right foot back and forth. And when I do this, I want my hand to be in the opposite direction. It'll look like I'm doing a weird dance. And I want to switch. And then I'm going to do it front to back. So what's really important is we want to simulate walking. So if I'm walking, the foot that's behind me, that's a hand that's forward. So when I walk, it would be polar opposites. If you don't know what that means that this hand's behind me, or this foot's behind me, this hand's forward. And that's just how we walk. So the activity would just be and then I would switch. And then I could do it on opposite hand, opposite foot. I have a lot more that goes with that. And as we progress, I have more things to do. Alright, so now that we've got our basics, talking about some safety things when it comes to kicks. We're going to be talking about targeting when it comes to kicks. And we're going to talk about actually using our kicks. So, once we have that, we might be able to dive into strikes, depending on how much time I have on this. So, one of the first things really, really important with learning how to kick is learning not to kick with your toes. Not unless you've been doing this for 45 years or you've conditioned your toes like an Okinawa master. I don't think any of you have done that. So, what's very important is to lift your foot the right way. So, in doing so, if you kick the wrong way and you kick with your toes first, you actually run the risk of breaking your toes. So it's really, really important that anytime you see me kicking, you'll see my foot on the ground. I'll even lift it up a little bit. I bring my toes up. So whenever I kick, I want to kick with the ball of my foot. This prevents any kind of injuries. This also gives you a lot more power. So there's going to be higher level techniques that come into using that more efficiently, or even using that better, I should say. So, for right now, let's get into some more basic 4 kicks. So the first of our 4 basic kicks is just a front kick. I want to have my hands up. My hands up, I'm not in any kind of official stance. I'm just ready, I'm facing my target. I want to keep eye contact on my target. So, I lift my toes up. I'm going to think about lifting my knee. So, I bring my knee up, and I kick. One of the things that you could do when you're learning to kick to get better at lifting your foot high enough to hit your targets is called shin traps. And what that is whenever you're moving around, you just want to lift your knee and catch right in the shin area. This gives a stretch. And this also gives you the ability to have a good idea of lifting the knee. So, when you do it very quickly and with control, it creates a very safe and powerful kick. So think about that. Lifting the knee first, having the toes pointed up, and eye contact on your target. If you're looking away, there's a very good chance you'll miss. So keeping eye contact is the first thing you'll want to do. So, let's go ahead and let's get into 5 on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a Zen Kujidachi. This is my front stance. My hands are up. I'll do 5 on this foot, 5 on the opposite. Counting with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, hey! Switching sides. You can either switch very slowly, or if you want to use a little more energy, see how fast you can switch. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, hey! Good. So now that we have our front kick, let's get into our side kick. A good side kick starts the same way a front kick does. So, what's going to change is I'm going to, from the side of my body, have my target right next to me. So, it doesn't matter if my target, I'll put him right in the center, is to my left, or if he's to my right. What's really important on this kind of stuff is I have eye contact, I'm going to protect myself, I lift my knee, and kick. I don't want to sag my foot because it might not reach my target and I could hurt myself. I want to think knee and kick outwards. So knee, kick. And I'm creating a lot of force when I do that. Eventually, it becomes a very explosive and very powerful kick. Let's go ahead and get into 5 side kicks each side. I'm looking sideways. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Then I'm going to switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! Okay, let's get into a roundhouse kick. Okay, a roundhouse kick, you can think of kind of in the same way a side kick, almost. You're still going to put your body sideways to it, but instead of your foot that's closest kicking your target, it's going to be your foot that's furthest away. So, side kick, closest, roundhouse, furthest. So, I'm going to get into a very comfortable stance. I'm going to keep eye contact. And I want to bring my foot to about this point. I'm coming across and kicking my target. Let's go for 5 each side. I'll use the Weightmaster. My hands are up. I'm prepared. 1, 2, 3, hey! And then I switch sides. My hands are up. 1, 2, and it's a good PI right at the end. Okay, the last kick we're going to be covering is the back kick. That's going to consist of my back facing my target, choosing which foot and which shoulder. So, if I'm using my right foot, I want to look over my right shoulder. When I do so, I turn, I lift my knee first. 1, and that's where you get a good, powerful back kick. So it'll eventually get faster. I'm not looking at the target. 2. Let's go for 5 back kicks. Whatever foot you choose, gotta look over your shoulder. So I look, 1, 2, 3, hey! And then I switch. I want to use both feet so I can work on balance. So our warm-ups that we've been doing all work on balance. If I don't have any balance, I can't stand on 1 foot and kick. So now I'm using my left foot. I need to look at my left shoulder. So my hands are still up. I look. 1 each. 1, 2, 3, hey! 5 each side. So now we've covered front, side, back, and roundhouse. Those are your 4 major kicks that you're going to be using in majority of your katas and your combos. So I want to leave today off on strikes. Some of our basic strikes. So let's talk about something called a shuto. A shuto is when I make my hand just like this, and I'm going to use the very thick part of my palm right down here, right below my pinky. So, if I have my pinky right below. And what I'm looking for is just touching. And what I'm really doing right there to make it a more powerful strike is I want to make make sure my thumb is pressed in to my hand as tight as I can. This makes it so it's not here and I don't have an accident. And it also makes it so my fingers aren't hitting each other when I hit the target, because that makes my whole hand a solid brick. If my hands are loose, compared to if my hand's tight, you can see the power difference, and you can hear it as well. So, let's work on 5 each side. Ready? And switch. So that's our shooting. So another thing we could practice in kata, but we shouldn't practice, would be a nukete. A nukete in the Japanese language is called spearhead. There's going to be a part where you get to a kata and you're going to be coming straight forward. This is not something you should be practicing. If you hit a surface hard, your snap, crackle, pop Rice Krispie treats with your fingers. Broken fingers. So do not practice this. If you are to practice it just like this. So, from standing still, just stop and go forward. This is right underneath and behind my elbow. And I'm looking to see, can I make it straight? That's a safe way to practice a nukete, which is a spearhead. Okay. That's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed learning 4 different types of kicks, proper way to do them, and learning 2 new strikes today. As always, I'm Sensei Gaidash, and until tomorrow. Okay, so the last thing I want to do with you guys before I let you go is I want to do a cool down. And what that looks like is, you guessed it, it's going to be dealing with balancing. I'm going to be crossing my feet, taking this hand, I'm going to do a big circle into my body, and a big circle into my body, and I'm going to pull my hands up. I'm going to take some deep breaths, I'm going to count to 3, once I take a deep breath to release it. Each, ni, san. I'm going to do this one more time. Each, ni, san. I'm going to be extending my arms right above my head. I want them as much behind my ears as I can. Ready? Take a deep breath in. Each, ni, san. One more. Each, ni, san. I bring my hands in. I'm going to extend them forward. Take a deep breath in. Each, ni, san. Again. Each, ni, san. From here, I can relax my body, and now we're ready for the final part of today. How do we exit, and how do we end class? So, at the end of class, we should all be on our assigned spots. For me, it's right here in the front of the room. I'm going to call ski, or I might have somebody that's appointed my senpai. If I appoint somebody my senpai, I'll explain that more later. It means that they're allowed to do this. So if I call ski, my feet are together, my hands are at my sides, and I'm going to tell us to point to the shonen. The shonen is the very front of the room, so it's always important to get here. Shonen, you ready? Boom. Then we turn to sensei. Sensei, you ready? Boom. If I have teachers in the room, I'm going to be turning to them especially. They are very important, and you should be respecting them as well, just like they should be bowing back. Then we turn to our teacher, and after we're done, I would turn to you. So, student, you ready? Boom. And that's how I'd end class. So, I hope you learned a lot from our first day. There's a lot more videos to come from this, and I'm gonna keep adding more and more out. So until then, stay safe. Make sure you wear your mask if you're in public. And I can't wait till you guys start